Hello and welcome you in the course of Probability and Statistics. I am your instructor Hardev Joshi. Now, in this lecture, we should study about movements in probability. And further, there are how many movements exist, we have to see. And also we have to see the concept of skewness. Movements, the words itself suggests that there is something is in movement. So basically there are say four types of movements exist. Now the first one is known as say central value. Yeah, precisely we have to say that the first movements represents the mean, that is average value, and in the terms of the probability the first movements represent the mathematical expectation, that is E of x. Now the second movements represents the variance, that is measure of dispersion. If we have to find out the analysis of any of the particular given data, then how much data is varied from that actual position is known as the measure of dispersion. How much data is dispersed. So the second movements gives the variance. Now the third movements gives the skewness. Skewness, that is in simplest manner we have to say that it gives the information about the shape of the data. The data is symmetrical distributed, not symmetrically distributed, and so on. The fourth movements gives the what is the peak, that is maximum value of the given data, and precisely that peak value is known as the kurtosis. So if we have to consider as a simple example, if we have to conduct say any of the test in the first year students, and suppose we have to consider we have to take a statistical test in particular class, say there are around say 60 students, and now 60 students appear in the statistics examination and the question paper is of 50 marks. So definitely when students submit the answers, we have to evaluate, we have to gather some data, that is information is available with us. I have one mark sheet, I have to prepare one mark sheet of particular question paper say statistics of 60 students, and we have to observe say quantity, what is the average score attained by the students, how much students get say distinction, that is above 40 marks, how much students are fail, whether the question paper is very easy, is complicated. So this type of behavior is observed with the help of this particular quantity movements. So let's start to find out the movements about the actual mean, and we know that actual mean is sometimes referred as central movement. So the movements about this particular mean is represent like say E of capital X is equal to mu, where mu is stand for the average value, and these are corresponding to the central movement. So is also known as actual mean and is denoted by mu of r. So mu of r is nothing, just e of x minus mu whole raised to r. That is, we have to find out the data is how much deviate from their actual mean. That's why we have to consider the subtraction from the corresponding xi. So mu r is equivalent e of x minus mu whole raised to r. So next, for simplification, here in this first term we have to apply the definition of expectation. And we know that the definition of expectation tells that e of x is nothing, just xi into multiply with corresponding frequency. That is, e of capital X is xi into f of xi. So in same manner, we have to write down sum where I is running from 1 to infinite. We have to consider infinite sub event. So xi minus mu whole raised to r multiply with corresponding probability, frequency, probability of xi. So it's also written in simple manner if we have to drop out the summation sign. So sum of x minus mu whole raised to r into p of x. Now it also represents, say, in terms of the frequency distribution. So p of xi, these is equivalent sum of fi upon capital N, where capital N, that is total number of observation, that is data available to analyze any of the behavior. So finally we have to arrive the central moments is represented by mu r and is defined as sum of I running from 1 to infinite fi into xi minus mu whole raised to r upon capital N. So in previous slide we have to study moments gives the four quantity. The first moments gives the average mean value, the second moments gives the variance, the third moments give the shape of the data, that is skewness, and the fourth moments represents the peak, that is kurtosis. Now basically there are three types of data. The first one is central movement and is represented by mu r. The second one is the row movement, is represented by mu r dash. And the third movement is the arbitrary movement, is represented by gamma. And we know that basically there are two types of data, group data and group data. So I will repeat again, movement gives us four quantity. It gives the information about average value, gives the information about variance, it gives the information about whether the data is symmetric or not, and it gives the information about kurtosis. And there are three types of movements: central movements, row movements, arbitrary movements. So next we have to find out how we can calculate the movement when we have to deal with the example. So let's see the first example. Calculate the first four central movements from the given data. Say x1 is 8, x2 is 7, x3 is 5, x4 is 6 and x5 is 4. So there are total 5 data, that is 5 observation is given, and corresponding to this xi we are interested to find out the first four central movements. So first of all, dealing with or find out the movements, we have to find out the mean, that is average. So mu is nothing, these are the simple data. We have to apply just basic knowledge of our schooling. When we have to find out the average of the data, just find out the summation divided by total number of data. So is sum of xi upon n, that is 8 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4. So 8 plus 7 15 plus 5 20, 20 plus 6 26 plus 4 30. Then there are total 5 data, so denominator is 5. So 30 by 5, so 6. So we have to get the mean is 6. And here we have to calculate first four central movements. So we know that the central moments is represented by x minus mu raised to r, where we have to consider r is 1, so x minus mu, when r is 2, so it gives x minus mu square, r is 3, x minus mu cube, when r is 4, x minus mu raised to 4. So here we have to write down the given data, so 8, 7, 5, 6, 4, so these are given xi. Mu we have to calculate is 6. So we have to see how we can calculate this second column. X minus mu. So for this particular cell, x is 8, mu is 6. So 8 minus 6 is 2. For this particular cell, x is 7, mu, remember mu is fixed 6 because mean is fixed throughout this example. So 7 minus 6 over. For this cell, x is 5, mu is 6, so 5 minus 6, so negative 1. Similarly, for this cell, x is 4, mu is 6, so 4 minus 6, so minus 2. These are the sum of this particular column. That is 2 plus 1, 3, 3 minus 1, 2, 2 plus 0, 2, 2 minus 2, 0. So we have to arrive, sum is 0. Similarly, here we have to find out the square of this particular column. That is 2 square is 4, 1 square is 1, square of negative 1 is 1, square of 0 is 0, square of negative 2 is 4, and find out the sum of this particular. That is 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 0, 0. So 2, 1, there are something, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 4, so this varies is 6, x minus mu square. Oh, sorry, we are missing the 4. So 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 4. So yes, we have to arrive, yes, 10, exactly, yes. Now x minus mu cube. So either find out cube of this, multiply this two quantity, first, second and third column. So 2 into 4, that is 8. 1 into 1, 1. Negative 1 into 1, so negative 1. 0 into 0, 0. Negative 4, positive 2, negative 8. Okay. So find out the sum of this particular. So 8 plus 1, 9, 9 minus 1, 8, 8 plus 0, 8, 8 minus 8, 0. Similarly for the last one, so we have to arrive, the sum of x minus mu raised to 4 is 34. So in this manner we have to prepare this particular table. Now next, see the skewness. Now skewness is one of the quantity which is given by the moments. So skewness is nothing, is just a measure of the symmetry or asymmetry of the given distribution data. So these are the basic concepts. Now again there are types of skewness. So basically there are three types of skewnesses exist: positive skewness, negative skewness, no skewness. So when we have to deal with the real life of data and we have to measure whether the data is a skew. So it may be positive skew, it may be negative skew, or whether it is a balance. That is, the graph of the data is throughout the constant. So we have to say that there is no skew. So when we have to deal with real life data, so to measure the skewness, we have to use the formula given by the statistician Karl Pearson. That's why it is also known as the Karl Pearson coefficient of skewness. And now this formula is given by the Karl Pearson and is calculate the skewness. So we have to assign the symbolic notation S in suffix k, where capital S is stand for the skewness and in suffix k is stand for the Karl Pearson. So Karl Pearson gives the coefficient of skewness is in combination of the quantity given by the moments. Yeah, in other words, we have to say that the skewness is in terms of the statistical parameter. That is a linear combination of mean, mode and standard deviation. And we know that standard deviation is nothing but is a positive square root of the variance. So remember, variance is given by the moments and is the second quantity given by the moments. Mean, that is the first quantity given by the moments. Mode is nothing, the peak value. Now if we have to say go in any of the mall and if we have to purchase any of the things, so definitely the owner of the mall know which particular objects as a more selling, so they have to arrange more quantity of that particular objects, because they have to know the demand of this particular object is high, and any of the demand of any of the particular object is high, so it's represented by more. So the Carl Pearson derived the coefficient of skewness in the terms of statistical parameter, and all this statistical parameter is nothing, it's a output of moments. So we have to write down the symbolic notation. Skewness is mean minus mode upon sigma is a notation of standard deviation. Now the skewness coefficients is always lies within the range -1 to +1. We never exceed this particular interval, -1 to +1. So in this particular slide, on the basis of this skewness coefficient given by the Carl Pearson, we have to just study some of the relation among the skewness and the data. So just for sake of convenience, we have to write down the formula of skewness in the margin. Skewness is mean minus mode upon standard deviation. So first of all, say when there is no skewness, that is the data has no positive skew, no negative skew, that is just like a constant graph. So in that case we conclude that or say that mean, median, mode all are equal quantity, and mean and mode are equal, so mean and mode both are equal, so numerator becomes 0. So when there is no skewness, the value of the skewness coefficient is 0. When there is a positive skew, then we know that the relation between this statistical parameter mean, mode and median is follow this quantity: mode less than median less than mean. That is, mean is greater than mode, and when mean is greater than mode, this numerator is positive. And we know that standard deviation, that is denominator, is a positive square root of variance. Positive square root, so definitely denominator is always positive, and numerator is positive because mean is greater than mode, so the value of skewness is greater than 0 when there is a positive skew. When there is a negative skew, in that case the relation between mean, median and mode is given by mean less than median less than mode, that is mode is greater than mean. So numerator becomes negative, denominator is always positive, so negative quantity upon positive quantity, so the value of skewness is less than 0. So these are the relation between the skewness coefficients with the symmetrical, that is skewness data. So thank you so much for paying your attention.